We continue our very special playoff edition of Westmoreland on the Gridiron. I'm now joined by the head coach of the Jeannette Jayhawks, Thomas Paulone, as his team gets in the Class 1A bracket. And Thomas, it was a little interesting that your team was playing as they were basically putting the brackets together. They had to kind of wait a little bit to put 1A out to see how your team fared against Riverview. Was it a little stressful, a little weird playing on Saturday, knowing that every other team pretty much knew their playoff fate after the brackets came out in the other classifications earlier?
Yeah, definitely. I found out I wasn't even back to the locker room yet after the victory at Riverview. So, we knew when the schedules came out in August or even before that, when we knew that we had a Saturday game to end the season, that that was problematic with the playoff committee meeting at, I think the meeting time was at 9. Our time was at noon. Of course, in August, you'd like to think that you already have a playoff spot already wrapped up, but in our case, nothing was guaranteed with, us not being a top 3 team out of the Eastern A. So, it was a short-lived, I enjoyed the victory through the handshake line, but, as I went off the field at Riverview, I found out that we were going to Neshannock, which we were happy to hear that we were in the tournament.
So I know the Raiders are a pretty talented team. You had to earn that victory, 34-20. What stood out about your team's performance against Riverview?
Sure. I thought defensively we really played well. Keeping them. We started the game 3 and out. They have some studs, like you just mentioned. They have some talent on that team. Alex Schulteis is a great tight end for them. We had the game plan for him. They have a good young quarterback, so they're very hard to prepare for with their motions and movement. And I thought we had a good game plan going in defensively, and I think we executed. And of course, offensively we kept the ball rolling with putting 34 points up. So really happy to come out with a win and get in the tournament.
Seeing that Brentwood also got in, maybe there's an outside chance you could have made the postseason with a loss, but I'm sure the mindset going in was we need to win this game to really solidify it. Was there any pressure felt amongst the players?
No pressure. I mean, pressure is a privilege. It's something we definitely talked about in our Monday meeting is, hey, we win, we're in, we control our own destiny. We expect to win games like Riverview, and the kids certainly felt that. And we put it back on the seniors. We have 2 seniors, and we wanted to play for them and not be their last game, and to make the playoffs 3 years in a row after not making it their freshman year. So we there was no pressure. We went out there and our game plan prevailed.
It's been a season of streaks for Jeannette. 4 straight wins, 3 consecutive losses, and now you're on a 3-game winning streak once again. Now, I know some of that has to do with the competition you played during those different stretches, but do you feel like your team's kind of playing at a level that could lead to success in the postseason right now?
Yes, I think when the schedule came out again, when it came out, midsummer, early summer, it's all runs together for me, Sean, with the continuum of football. But, when the schedule came out, we knew that stretch was going to be tough, being on the road with those opponents. And, when we lost 3 straight, that certainly wasn't the plan. But we were in our team meeting saying, hey, guys, we got 3 games left. We already won 4 straight this year, so we are very capable of winning 3 straight. And we felt confident if we won 3 straight, we'd be 7-3. And with our non-conference resume, with our wins, we felt like we were going to be, one of the first teams in. I think we're the only 7-3 4th place team that got in. So, we felt fairly confident with that. Battle cry was, we already won 3 straight. Every streak starts with 1. And, obviously that 1-point victory at Brentwood started it all with the streak, and with Springdale at home to finish it up, and at Riverview, at Brentwood, at Riverview, very tough, place to play and opponent. So we were glad to win 3 straight to get in. So that was kind of our battle cry going into the final 3 weeks.
I'm sure everyone thinks of Kimani Brown when they think of the Jayhawks this year. He has been incredible at doing it all. That continued in the win against the Raiders. And then Jace Powell's had a great season as well recently. Sunder has really come on. Is there a guy or maybe a few guys that have been kind of under the radar but have been also crucial to your team's success this year?
Yeah, I think there's a lot to go around. Really, just with our roster size, Sean, it's really everybody. I think the scout team, that no one sits around at our practice just because we need everybody involved with getting ready for a game. Scout team guys, to guys like Zay Jones, who had a really great game at Riverview at the defensive line. Our offensive line, we're very thin, and they've stuck together and won 7 games this year. I thought that was a big question mark going into this year, losing starters. Sean, we replaced 9 starters on either side of the ball, most of which are playing first year positions. So I just think a collective of just, everyone on our roster, our staff, getting these guys ready to play week in and week out in this brutal Eastern A schedule that, as you mentioned, you got 5 teams in the tournament. So, it's just there's a lot of credit to be pushed around. It's just a complete team effort to get to where we are right now as the 13th seed in the WPIAL playoffs.
Well, you mentioned your seed, number 13, which means you go against number 4, Neshannock. How did that align with your expectations? Understanding that you probably didn't have a lot of time to potentially figure things out because you were playing that game on Saturday.
Yeah, the bracketology of the staff room, right? The whispers of us and the staff and the guys close to the program. It's right where we thought we would be. We got what we deserve. We're the 4 seed out of the Eastern A. It was a little bit of a surprise. We got 5 teams in, with Brentwood's record. We thought maybe that they would be left out, but it's not a surprise as far as, we know we have a really tough conference. I mean, Clarendon's probably the best team in the state, and Gridiron Central Catholic had a great win at Leechburg, and Leechburg's great the way they came into our house and beat us. So, we got what we deserve. Neshannock's a top seed, and they're very worthy of that, and we'll be ready to go Friday up in north of Newcastle.
Yeah, and you mentioned Clarendon maybe being the best team in the state. I think they're probably going to be a little motivated that they're the number 2 seed in this bracket, which maybe gives an indication of some real high-end talent. So you go against the 4-seeded Lancers. They're a team that's typically had some great success, including the postseason. What stands out about them?
Sure. Just their size. I think, I spoke to some teams within their conference, and they look like a college football team. I mean, they're 6'4", 285 across the front. They have some good athletes. So that definitely stands out about them. It also stands out about them that they're good at a lot of things on offense. It's hard to pinpoint, a defensive game plan when they're good at a lot of things. So we got to pick and choose what we're going to take away from them and forge ahead with an aggressive game plan against them. As far as defensive side of the ball, offensively, they're very aggressive too. On the defensive side of the ball, they bring pressure. They have a lot of good long athletes, 6'4", 6'3", 6 foot, across the linebacking core, and that same line that's on the offensive line, 285, 250, 240s across their defensive line. So, we feel like they're very worthy of that 4 seed. They're 9-1 for a reason. They're the 4 seed for a reason, and there's a lot of tradition up there. It's a tough environment. They flick the lights when they score, all that happy stuff. So there's a red out, so it's going to be tough to go up there and to win. And we will be prepared in our team meeting and beyond this week to come out with a victory.
Hopefully the lights will not be flickering too much on Friday. Coach, thank you so much for doing this. We appreciate it. Congrats on the postseason appearance and good luck in making a run.
Thanks so much, Sean.
That's Thomas Paulone, the head coach of the Jeannette Jayhawks.